I want to be the first $1 billion gutter company.
Meet Colin DeHaan, the Cowboy gutter.
You'll be able to learn a few things, like how he was able to generate $500,000 before they even ran their first ad.
Gutter launch would probably be non-existent if I had created zero content. Definitely would not have done $500,000 in 5 months.
Wow. He's going to teach you exactly what you need to create content even when you start from zero.
I honestly just keep a note on my iPhone, and it just says content. Any idea that pops in my head, anything that I think people can relate to, that's what I do.
And their specific price points of the products that they're selling to their customers today.
Our most expensive option is $80,000 up front. They get that back in 2 to 3 months.
You can learn exactly that you have everything that you need so you can create content consistently. And Colin is going to teach you exactly how he did it. Enjoy.
Guys, if you're enjoying this show, clearly because of our dynamic, go ahead and click that follow button in your favorite podcasting platform and on social media at BeastBrosCo.
That is right. If today's guests help you move one step closer towards your content goals, please don't forget to share this episode. And, of course, don't forget to leave a 5-star review.
This person that we're about to bring, we met at a live event, and he's part of the communities that we're part of as well. And he's one of those like undercover, very successful like businessmen, I feel like, when I met him. But now his whole thing has exploded. He's automated. He has a fully automated gutter business, which we'll get into.
I love the fact that it's an uncommon business. You know, at least uncommon on the circles that we move in. Yeah.
But everybody needs gutter, just saying. You know, right? Well, he'll tell us more about it. He has multiple locations in 3 states, and he just launched an event that I saw from like a content consumer type of person, and oh wow,
it made you want to have a gutter business.
I mean, the way that they presented it and the product that they were doing there, I'm like, yes, is this our next investment opportunity?
Yeah.
So maybe.
I'm just going to call back this story. Remember when we were in Montana sitting with all these badass people and they were talking how they hunt bears, you know, how they work in oil fields, and we're like, dang, all these people are so badass, you know, doing the hard labor.
Ride, you know, motorcycles and motocross and backflips.
And we're like, well, we record podcasts and we type on a keyboard. Maybe your calling, you know, for hard, manly work is to launch a gutter business. Who knows?
Hey, baby. You know, there we go. All right, guys. With that said, guys, please welcome the new content is profit friend, Colin DeHaan.
What's up?
An awesome intro. Holy smokes. Like, wow, that was awesome. I love you guys' energy. I'm so excited to be here already.
Do you feel the energy, Colin? Do you feel
you know what? Yeah. I feel it, man.
I don't know. Colin, I appreciate your kindness. I know you're a kind man, but you know how my brother says, CBB. CBB stands for can be better. So this energy is just going up from right now. So I'm just keeping accountable. You know, he does the same for me. I'll do the same for him. Brotherly love.
All right. Well, we're going to start right with fire. Fonzie has a special question for you, Colin. I didn't tell you this. This is a full surprise. I did warn you.
I don't know any of these questions, so let's go.
That's right. We didn't prep for this at all. Now, Colin, I am very curious. You know, and we used to ask this question at the end of the episode, but I think asking at the beginning is actually going to make it way, way better.
People that have been listening for 500 episodes like, wait, what? There was a question at the end of the episode?
Colin, what has been, you know, the impact? Where would you be and where would your business be if you hadn't been creating content?
Gutter launch would probably be non-existent if I had created zero content. Like, I mean, I might have like a few super organic, like just people that I've met and helped throughout the country that buy Gutter Launch, but we definitely wouldn't have 75 members in just 5 months, right? Like,
wow.
Pumping out stuff constantly on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I don't have the podcast up and running crazy yet, but it's like in the works. We're coming with it. So
yeah.
I love it. Yeah, like if I wasn't doing that, we'd really be like non-existent.
Yeah,
I definitely would not have done, you know, $500,000 in 5 months.
Wow. So, absolutely amazing. $500,000. But again, there's a foundation for that. Obviously, there's a lot of hard work that you've done on your gutter business, and we're definitely going to cover that. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But I want obviously people to see the opportunity that creating content has presented to you, right? Which is it allowed you to take the business that you were doing and create now a one-to-many offer that now you can market to the masses, people that have more interested, that have more interest, and it allows you to create a new line of revenue.
So,
for sure.
to call it, well, first of all, congratulations, man.
Yep.
That's amazing. I mean, I was following your stories and the content that you guys were pumping at the event. It looked like it was completely packed. The energy was amazing. You know, some of your speakers have been guests of the show, so I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so offended that I'm not there. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, by the way. I'm kidding.
It was right down the road from y'all. Like we were in Orlando. That's not too far from you guys.
Now it hurts more. Oh, dude.
Yeah, we dude. Honestly, even if we weren't gonna launch a gutter business right now, we would have gone to support. You know, just cheer you up.
Well, I'll definitely get you all an invite next time.
Let's go.
Sounds good.
That's the goal. That's how you get opportunities, guys. You make the other person feel so bad. No, no, Colin, I mean, we met, I think it was like 2 years ago, right? And I remember having this conversation with you in the halls of Fun Hacking Live, right? I think it was Bart Miller that connected us. And you have some questions on content and like how to, do it consistently. And it was in a formal meeting. We're just, this is what we're doing on our end. And, we had this amazing conversation and we kind of went our ways, right? And what struck me was that you were coming from a world that is not a digital product, right? You guys do gutter installations. I'm assuming I'm saying it correctly, right? And can you walk us through that business that you had 2 years ago and then the evolution of the last 2 years? Obviously, content being this fuel that you guys pour into to create this amazing offer. And what are you guys doing now? Because I remember, I think you guys were in one state and then all of a sudden I see you everywhere. And then all of a sudden you have all these people that you guys are teaching about these incredible opportunities. So can you walk us through that a little bit?
Yeah, I tell you what, the evolution actually started because I was consuming content, right? So I was consuming content and then I met Bart Miller and got into his like low level group, which is where I met you, right? On the daily accountability calls.
Yeah.
And the rest is kind of history. It's all kind of like transitioned from there. Sorry, I did not realize I was not on.
So good. It's probably a Stripe notification sign that you just sold a new gutter launch program.
Another $25,000 come in.
So, but yeah, so it started with me consuming content and like, okay, I'm gonna start following this guy. And then I paid Bart a bunch of money to be a mentor because I was like, all right, I'm doing the brick and mortar thing, and that's working. But I feel like I'm called to be doing a little bit more. I feel like I get all these messages constantly. Yeah. I can monetize that somehow, right? Like how do I pump out content to the masses, and what does that look like? And so from there, like I started working with Bart, and I had this grand plan. I want to be the first $1 billion gutter company. Now, Leaf Filter technically beat me there, but I don't think they're a real gutter company. So I want to be the first real gutter company and to hit $1 billion. So I was going to build this whole program to essentially get people to buy into, bam, here you go, follow my model, build my business in wherever location you're in. And I start going through this and Bart's like, you need to sell this thing, man. And that's kind of where everything started funneling from is, okay, now I'm going to sell this thing. I got to start producing content so people trust me more, so that I was already kind of like the OG dude in the gutter world, but my group has 12,000 people in it now, right? It's really easy to be a nobody in a group of 12,000 people if you're not posting regularly, right? Yeah. So that creating the content, starting the YouTube, all that fun stuff has been pivotal for me.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty curious on the transition to the more creative side of creating content, right? Because a lot of people have a very difficult time pretty much embracing that creative persona, right? We've seen it all the time. We had someone come here to the studio, right? She has had an incredible career with incredible mentors, incredible advertising opportunities, right? She works in the marketing world. And as soon as we turned on the camera, she froze. Like her personality completely changed. She was so outgoing, so ready to talk about everything. As
so many
soon
stories.
As we said, all right, go. And we turned on the camera, she froze. Nothing. No personality. She was struggling, fumbling through her mind to come up with the stories that she wanted to tell, remembering the details. It was painful to watch. And a lot of people struggle to that, right? They struggle, and I'm kind of calling a little bit. If you want to learn a little bit more, and I'm talking to a listener right now, if you want to learn about embracing these personalities, make sure you go and listen to Bart's episode, Bart Miller, because it's absolutely, we talk about this. But a lot of people struggle embracing that creative persona, right? Especially if they've been just working out of the cameras or behind the cameras. So I'm curious on your business, right? You had the gutter business, shaking hands, meeting people in real person. Now you are embracing that content creator lifestyle as well. How was that transition for you?
Yeah, man, that's a loaded question. All right, Hansi. I'm going to do my best to answer this. Started by, yes, absolutely go. I'm sure Bart talked about the alter ego on his episode with y'all.
100%.
Okay. All right. So this cowboy hat, right? Like, yeah, it covers up some nasty hair, but the cowboy hat is part of my alter ego, right? When I put this thing on, I go into character, right? For lack of a better term now. Yep. When I say go into character for me, that's just like higher energy. That's all it is. It's just higher energy for me on the camera. I'm still the same dude. I still care about people the same way. I'm not like super arrogant or anything in person. I'm just the same person. I just bring a little more energy for the camera, right? Like that's it.
I love it.
As far as like, how do I get into that imaginative state to create the content? Like, it's really, as you guys know, it's crazy difficult to just sit down and be like, okay, let's figure out what we're going to film today. Like, it doesn't work that way. What I do, it's just real life for me. So unfortunately, I love starting forest fires in my businesses. And so everything I create content on is just real life adventures that I'm going through, right? I've got embezzlement cases. I've got all the crazy stuff that entrepreneurs go through, and it just makes really, really easy content. And all you got to do is be good at copy at that point to get a good hook, and there's your title. So
dude, that's so cool. I remember, in the amount of time that you guys did, going from not having people in a group to 12,000 people to then launching this offer, right? Like, obviously there's steps and there's a system probably on the back end. Can you share a little bit of that system, right? Like a little bit more specifics on like, hey, my routine is I'm going to record like one day a month. We do this. That drives the traffic, or you build relationships through the content, and then that partnership kind of brings part of it. Like what's the angle? Like, how are you guys doing it?
Yeah. You know what? I don't have it all figured out there, right? So sure, my gutter business is streamlined and all automated. My content business is not, right? So I'm still figuring that out. I'm the camera guy at this point. I hired a full-time videographer a year ago. He has since left, and he's actually touring Europe right now. So
wow.
He's been there for, I think, like 5 weeks so far. But so I've got a guy that edits videos and whatnot, but I'm the camera guy. Right? Yeah. So I had to learn how to do all the camera stuff, and I don't do well in the afternoons. Like my afternoons, I really, really struggle. I'm really good from like 7 a.m. till about 11 a.m.
Yeah.
And then I get really, really, really good again from like 8 p.m. till midnight. So that's when I do a lot of my filming, is those 2 time slots.
Awesome.
And I honestly just keep a note on my iPhone, and it just says content. And any idea that pops in my head, anything that I think people can relate to, that's what I do. So,
dude, that's amazing.
I love it. I want to point out a few things here for the person listening, right? And we've mentioned this a lot, which is find your own how. People are probably going to try to sell you frameworks. We have our own personal framework. We love teaching it. That doesn't mean that it's going to be necessarily the right framework for you. But I love what Colin is saying here, right? He found his how first. And we talk about this actually in the previous episode that we did, which is energy management. Find out when are the moments in the day that you have the most amount of energy, the most amount of creativity, and build around that to create your content. And second, what is your own how? You simplify it on having a notes on your phone that says content, and as you get ideas, you're putting it there. Me personally, I have what I call the idea framework, and I stands for idea. So when I get an idea, I make sure I just write it down and I have them in there. Then the D stands for draft. And when I feel creative, I sit down and I draft those ideas to later shoot on those, right? So I love what you're doing. I think it's absolutely amazing. Not complicating things. It's just say, let me focus. The objective is putting content out there. How can I remove the friction to getting this done?
By the way, Colin, like huge kudos, man. Like you, authenticity, honestly, like 100%. We've met people that they just pretend that they have a massive team, and there's big secret for everybody. Nobody has figured it out. Nobody has figured it out. And there's a cool thing is like, man, that you just launched this incredible like vertical of your business that's generating a ton of opportunity and money and making people like really, really happy. Out of something that it's like probably at the beginning stages of development, right? And it's like, wow, what an amazing thing to think that it can continue to evolve. And same thing, like we just had a presentation yesterday in Bart's Mastermind where we talk about it.
I was supposed to be there and I missed it, so I'm going to be watching the recording. I'm really sorry.
No, you're good. I expect your feedback, my man. But part of it was like here are the lanes, right? And then you depending on you, like we gotta make it another $25,000. Let's go.
I don't know why that keeps coming through. Like I thought I had this on Do Not Disturb.
Don't worry, we got you covered here with the sounds. Let's go.
But I want to encourage people, right? Like, hey, imperfect action, man. Move it forward. Put it out there. You'll never know exactly, what's going to come our way. And I can't, the first big relationship that we ever developed and turned into our first six-figure, opportunity was because an 11 p.m. video that it was live in my house, no lighting or nothing, from the phone, front camera, right? Low quality. Doesn't matter. It came from something like that. So thank you, man, for sharing specifically how you're doing it and your high energy moments. And I think that's going to hopefully motivate and encourage a lot of people to put their message out there.
I want to
I want to go back.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Something you had said there, Luis, was that, oh shoot, no, I forgot exactly how you said it. But anyway, it's at the beginning stages. And when I first started Gutter Launch, I thought maybe we'll have 50 to 100 people total in Gutter Launch, right? We're at 75 in just 5 months, and we just started running ads. Everything else has been organic through content. But what that unlocked in my brain was Gutter Launch can realistically have 5 to 10,000 people in it.
Yeah.
In 3 years.
Yeah.
Right? In 3 years. So this little bitty business that I thought was, maybe going to add $500 to $1 million a year to my income can be adding $2 to $5 million per year, or $2 to $5 million per month to our top line revenue. Like that's insane. And the content, and just seeing the people come in has been what really flipped that switch in my brain for me.
That's so cool. Yeah. Can you, so obviously, I remember having a presentation where I told like the people that were presenting our system with our podcast, right? Which is, we make these relationships and then relationship through opportunities or referrals, or even they might be interested in what we have to offer as a business. Then that becomes obviously the profit, right? That we do. And we've, to that point, we were selling, higher ticket recurring service. And that's why we were able to hit those numbers. And one person was like, oh, well, I sell individual books, right? So is your system going to be able to help me? I'm like, well, the angle is like, can we develop a relationship through the podcast where you can sell to maybe a library and they purchase a big order, right? Or maybe to a school and the head of school in the state and they purchase thousands of books, right? So that could be super interesting, right? So obviously, you guys, you're saying pretty amazing numbers here, right? Could you share a little bit of like at what price point you guys are, selling the business? Is it an education business? Is it a business in a box? Can you walk us through a little bit? Maybe that can encourage some people to create new ideas, right? Because you didn't have any of this, right? It was just
right.
It was not just it was an incredible successful business, but it was not like this.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just stop me if I start nerding out too much. And,
You're good.
So,
We love nerding out.
This is my baby. This is what I love doing, right?
We have about like 6 to 7 minutes to drop this massive golden boulder, so people have a roadmap. I think with this episode, people are gonna have an incredible roadmap to hopefully replicate.
Awesome. Well, yeah. So Gutter Launch is essentially the business in a box. It's every system, training, like full learning management system for every position in your gutter business. All right. Every document, policy, procedure, offer letter, you name it. Like who to use for Facebook ads, who to use for your website, like direct links, all the photos, all the copy, like everything that you could possibly need to run a gutter business. You literally just got to do it. Right. And like one of the analogies I use is, most businesses are here on Payne Island and we all want to get to a fancy dancy business island. Right. Yep. Well, we need a bridge to get us there. None of us know how to build a freaking bridge. So I figured out how to build a bridge. Here you go. Here's a bridge. We just got to get the helicopters, which are your money, right? Drop the bridge in place and you walk across it, right? Like that's it. Awesome. So it's everything that you need. It's a high ticket item, right? So our most expensive option is $80,000 up front. All right. And that's $80,000 up front. What we see with existing gutter businesses who pay that, they get that back in 2 to 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah. Like almost immediate ROI. I mean, in the business world, that's a pretty darn immediate, right? Yeah. With brand new companies who have never done a gutter in their life, it usually takes like 6 to 12 months for them to see that ROI. But we have different options that do like rev shares, right? So it's a lower upfront cost, all the way down to like $7,000, I think is our lowest option right now upfront, with different rev shares or monthly installments, whatever. Yeah. So that's kind of like a brief overview. And so, yeah, our numbers can get pretty wild. We have different like facilitator options and different, like business softwares and things that we're associated with that we offer, like coaching. That everybody's a coach these days. We don't have coaches in our program because A, that opens us up to a ton of liability, and B, like people pay because they want to learn from Colin, right? I can't coach everybody. So we put facilitators in place who bring the big questions to me. I create content. It shops out to all of them, right? So that's how that goes, right? Dude. It's fun, man. We do like weekly group calls. We've got an incredible Facebook community where we just did our first live event that went amazing, and we're going to be trying to do one every quarter going forward. So it's all on the agenda. It's going to get real wild and real fun really, really fast.
Dude, Colin, I'm incredibly excited and proud of what you guys have built. And thank you so much for being so open and sharing those numbers and what you guys do, because I think it's going to trigger a lot of ideas, right? Like, at least in my head, when I see something specific like that, that you see the two sides. There's the person that's going to be like, oh, wow, that's a massive product, right? But at the end of the day, they might not be in your industry, right? But what can we create that's inside of our industry that could be something like that, right? In our case, it could be like a content, a podcast studio in a box where, and then we facilitate production for those people, for example, right? We're like, hey, start something like that. And just my head is going with ideas, as I'm sure people listening today are like, how can I apply what Colin's doing into my own business? Yeah. It might be a similar business model as a gutter business, but maybe on the roofing side of it, right? Maybe somebody owns that and be like, oh man, roofing company in a box. Like, how cool is that, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, maybe the opportunity is just to scratch everything off and just go with a gutter business,
The links are going to be right below, by the way, guys. If you're interested in more of that, just scroll down and click.
We have a conversation on Thursday. This is now in the agenda, What if we just burn everything down and just, launch a gutter business?
Let's go.
Podcast studio for sale.
Dude, amazing.
Dude, Colin, I appreciate you, man. This was like exactly, I think, what we wanted on our side, like short and sweet and effective. And, I really want to thank you for everything that you're doing and leading by example. We're going to leave all your links right below so people can see it. And I'm so excited to see where this goes. Is there anything else that you want to add?
Shoot, man. the content's incredible. Like what you guys pump out, your energy is, if you ever want me back, you just let me know. I would love to be on with you guys. This has been a ton of fun. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, commitment accepted. Whenever you have the date for the next event, you come back in. We continue talking, and then that way we can promote it and hopefully send you some people.
Yeah.
So
how about next time I'm down in Florida, I just come see y'all and we do it live action in your studio.
Let's go.
Let's go. Even better.
We'll do live action. I think do you drive motocross or quads? What is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We race dirt bikes. We were riding this weekend up here in Michigan. It was 65 degrees on Sunday, which is unheard of beginning of March. So we were out riding. We had I think we had 12 people on my track. It was a blast.
There you go. Well, let's do this. We'll record and then we'll find a track. You can show us how you ride, and then we'll pretend
out there, y'all.
And then we'll pretend.
And then we'll pretend. Yeah, we're like we know some camera angles.
We'll tap into our alter ego. We'll bring our Cowboys hat, and all of a sudden we'll be dirt riders. You know what I mean?
Well, let's just say this. You know how good you guys are at soccer? That's how bad I am at riding a dirt bike.
That's so awesome. Dude, I can't wait, man.
Yeah.
Thank you again. Fonz, is there anything else that you want to add?
Love this episode. You are actually one of the first ones that we record this type of format of Content is Profit, which is how we are keeping the show from now on. I do want to say I want to talk more about your story. I want to learn more about Colin, right? Who you are, how you became the person you're today. But those might be episodes now for a different show that we might be doing here in the future, right? Now, Content is Profit. It's all about that. It's about content and profit, right? What are the strategies behind turning your content into profit? And Colin, I can be more excited about this conversation because it was all I was hoping for. It was absolutely amazing. It is exciting. You have lots of insights. I think people will definitely learn a lot from what you're doing nowadays. So thank you so much.
Sweet.
You're very welcome. Thank you guys. Thank y'all.
Absolutely. With that said, guys, thank you so much for tuning to the Content is Profit podcast. Go ahead and follow the show in your favorite podcasting platform and on social media at BizBrosCo.
That is Ryan Colin here. Help you move one step closer towards turning your content into profit. Please don't forget to share this episode and leave a 5-star review. And if you think my brother did better than at the beginning, let us know as well. See ya.
Bye, guys.